You know what? There's a reason. Whenever you go back to Philadelphia, it feels like the Invitational because you're headed back to the lab again. In the meantime, though, these two are out of the lab into the fire. Only one may stand. We've been saying it throughout the night, but it all comes down to this. 2 sets to lose for Deltaforce. Only one of wiggle room for Synnister. We're here in Grand Finals on Pokemon Stadium, getting right into Game 1.
You already know. Hey, you said it better than I could, although I'm sure Kelvin might have something to say about that. Either way, game number 1, as you mentioned, PS2. Synnister and Deltaforce, we're getting into it and getting that up tilt and getting it shielded, however. Deltaforce maybe coming into this just a little bit cold, needing to find the footing ever so slightly, but still making Synnister whiff on these jabs and miss on the grabs as well. But it's maybe some unorthodox combo strings trying to be found here by Synnister. But again, you have to know what happened in that first set. You got swept straight up. You were not in the same league as Deltaforce, and now Delta trying to show you are not in the same league yet again, trying to send a message, taking that first stock within the first minute of Game 1 of Grand Finals here at the 223rd edition of Fusion. Once again, call sign twitch.tv/Collision Series TV.
And listen, Stu, the way, he keeps this up, Deltaforce might need to apply for a job at Stanley Steamers because, as you mentioned, he is just cleaning this one up. Synnister hasn't had a single response to this gameplay. You just see Deltaforce's decision-making has been so much faster. That time it backfires a little bit, right? The quick decision gets caught out by the jab, and that's going to result in the stock count going back the other way. But Synnister still has a lot of ground to make up, and even more now as he's down to his last stock of game number 1.
Yeah, this is a rough situation, ain't it? Synnister getting caught pretty hard thus far and is not really able to make up a whole lot of ground, at the very least, based off of what we've seen from this character, right? Like, that this is a character that can dish out damage, but this Link is just doing such a good job at walling you out. You have no reason to really approach or do anything. You have the tools to deal with this Ryu pretty effectively, and now as the bomb is going to get thrown the opposite way, is this oh man, the Ryu got cleared out pretty hard, and now that is Synnister going down by a score of 1-0 to Deltaforce, the Link mainstay from Jersey, NJIT zone. What else can you say about this Link that hasn't been said by at least 37 commentators before me?
That count, I feel like that's almost like doubles action, right? Like, you've got your childhood bag right in front of you, and then your childhood self time travels back after game 1 to come back and pick it up. Like, I feel like that's gotta be something, right? Like, that was fantastic timing there from Pawn Master to find his way back, as you saw Synnister just have no way back at the end of that one. Going back to Hollow Bastion, as we talked about before, this stage is so good for Krotos. Last time it was, right, we saw Synnister go here, it was with the Ken. This time it's with the Ryu. Even still, though, the idea is the same. Control that center platform at all costs, but if you can't even get back, you just never have a chance to do so.
You're talking about Hollow Bastion again. The damage that we have seen Synnister do on this stage cannot be underestimated, but goodness gracious, Deltaforce absolutely taking him for a ride. Definitely excited about that Marvel collection in that instance, but how are we doing this at 37%? Synnister looking for any sort of foothold on this set, trying to get something back. He's down tilts in the fireballs with only minimal damage being able to have been acquired. And again, this is Deltaforce we're talking about. Does not have a whole lot of recent tournaments on record, or at the very least, according to Smash data. I mean, the last one we have, in fact, is the 210th edition of Fusion. So I don't know if that's
which is that Smash data, like PG stats, is not updated since June.
Yeah, okay. So, I was sure that was an error. I knew it had to be.
Yeah.
But
if you want up-to-date bracket data, check out Smasher's app today. In the
there
meantime,
you go.
Though, you might
what a beautiful plug also in the middle of the set. I love that.
Well, listen, you
My-
taught me a thing or two, the way things have been started, but the only beauty we should be appreciating right now is the way that Deltaforce is carving up Synnister like a Thanksgiving turkey. There is just nothing to say other than he hasn't really had a chance to play the game because the defense, the lockdown, the aggression, the way this space has been controlled, the dance with the bomb and the boomerang has been beautiful. And yes, Topsy takes a stop, but there's so much more work to be done.
Obviously, but Synnister at the very least getting points on the board. Deltaforce now is going to be made to respond just a little bit. Focus attack going to get him back to the stage. Piling him up to 72%, but almost a full stock lead now for Deltaforce, who's able to utilize that bomb expertly. Again, you're talking about it has a hitbox so long as it is bouncing. You are able to control that detonation, no one else. So as Synnister has to negotiate so many different things and is unable to deal with the pressure off of the ledge, has to recover down a little too far for Ryu to be able to handle. Deltaforce right now cruising through this grand final set. This is 5 straight games against Synnister, and this Shoto needs an answer right now.
I mean, honestly, Stu, the way things are going right now, you gotta wonder if we're gonna see that Ken, right? Because it didn't take a game winner's side either. But it worked. It looked like it was going a little bit better than this view is because you haven't even found more than barely a stock in the game. You need an answer, and you can see Synnister going deep. He doesn't even know what character to pick.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just because it was going better doesn't mean it was going good. And wow, okay.
Stu, I think it's. I feel like all of a sudden it's really early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because this feels like shout out to my goats. Shout out to 6 a.m. and delay. I might have watched this matchup more than anybody else alive.
You know what? That could very well be the case, but what a switch from the World Warrior to a Red Cyclone as we go to the Incineroar on Hollow Bastion. I do appreciate perhaps the ingenuity. Like, you know that you're not going to win the matchups in neutral, so you might as well nullify that. You might as well just go ahead and maximize damage. Even if you're not going to be the quickest character in the world, you don't necessarily have to be with Incineroar, right? Like, that's the theory. Although, I will say, your trouble has been at ledge. Your trouble has been recovery. I don't think Incineroar helps you there.
No, and I mean, Incineroar does help you, though, if you find these revenges, right? If you can make and think and second guess just a little bit, right, with some of these buttons. However, it's not just the recovery speed that you mentioned, it's also just the ability to get in, right? Incineroar, one of the slowest characters in the game. And when he does get in, yes, he hits hard, but you were struggling to get in with Ryu. How do you get in when the cat doesn't even have a projectile to run behind?
I don't think you do. I mean, in theory, you're able to catch him just a little bit earlier as you're going to get caught with the Inzaguri F smash at 79%. That's going to be good for the KO off of the corner. So at the very least, just purely in terms of pacing, you're doing just a little bit better, but oh my goodness, smash. It's a game of positioning, and the very last hit of up B almost puts you into a world of hurt in the decisive game 3 of this set. How decisive it will be, we can only watch and find out, but you're still sitting in shield quite a bit if you're in Incineroar. You're getting susceptible to being grabbed yourself, which, as we know, will get rid of revenge. So if you're having trouble dealing with it, but you're getting revenge cross-chopped, holy smokes, that could have gotten real bad for Deltaforce really quickly.
Yes, it could have, Stu. And if you saw that cross drop came out in reaction to Deltaforce looking for the grab there, right? You use the hurtbox shift on the cross drop to avoid it and find the punish for big damage. And if you're Synnister, I think that's what you're looking for here more than anything, right? Is an ability to find, get these revenges, and then recognize Synnister or Deltaforce is going to over prioritize grab, bait it, and find your stocks that way. Anything short of that, I mean, it feels like you're trying to play too honest against someone who, in the honest game, has just locked you down.
Yeah, and now that Synnister. Oh yeah, you saw Synnister shift in the player cam. That was not what Synnister wanted to happen. Now it is last stock. potentially last game. Are you going to be shut out twice by Deltaforce? Again, a bona fide genius in terms of Smash. And the name of the degree says New Jersey Institute of Technology. That's one of the best schools in the country. And again, a former collegiate champion in his own right. Just at the start of this game's life cycle. Now, making his way back into Fusion. And 7 years on from the launch of this game, it could be 6. What can I say? Time flies. But man, oh man, the stocks have been flying off of the screen for Synnister. Maybe the experience, just a little too much to overcome. Maybe the deft play of this Link, just a little too much to bear. Or maybe you're Deltaforce and you're just that damn good.
However, Stu, it's Incineroar. You're at the ledge. You're just one hit away. Back still gonna push you in a bad spot at 104 here. This grab is gonna do it down till Porter could instead, but he was hitting perfect. He's pitching perfect. Call this man Shohei Ohtani because he is running it from start to finish. Deltaforce is your Fusion 223 champion in dominant fashion. 2-0 over Infernape, 3 over Synnister, 3-0 over Synnister again. He pitched the no-hitter in top 8. Dropped 1 game to Kazi, and that's the only one the entire bracket. It does not get better than this.
No, I mean, you're talking about the difference that experience makes. Deltaforce has been in this position many a time, and after having seen Deltaforce, again, you're talking about over the course of 6 years at this point. This is someone who has done so much work in brackets at Fusions, and even at the predecessor to Fusions. You're talking about at brackets like Platinum Star and Howl. You're talking about again the Monday night tournaments that have happened in Linden, New Jersey for I think going on to like 9 years ago now. This is someone who has been there and done that, who has traveled and seen just about everything. And Deltaforce, again, this is someone who is like, if you were in Jersey, you know this name. And if you don't, it's because then he'll make you learn real quick. This is a Link that you cannot take lightly. And although Synnister, I think Synnister gave a good account for himself at the end, because even though you saw maybe that Link was in trouble, especially after that German suplex, right? It's not quite enough to get the KO, because you're getting stuff off of throws too if you're Synnister, and especially that forward air follow-up to confirm the game, the set, and indeed the tournament. One of Jersey's finest, and again, good things come in threes, especially when your name is Deltaforce.
And my friend, good things come in threes. Tonight, we had 2